What do Jeffrey Owens and Le'Veon Bell have in common? Other than, neither one of them are going to be starting week 1 for your fantasy team. Also, Nike has named Colin Kaepernick their spokesperson for their Just Do It campaign this year. Also, they've named Jay Cutler their spokesperson for their Just Don't campaign. When you think about doing something, just don't. Also, we've got your top 10 stories, we got your top 10 big board, we got your top 10 picks, we got your top 10 fantasy names, and we got your top 10 sponsors. And guess what? They're all SeatGeek. If you want a personalized, easy way to buy tickets on any device with internet access, download the SeatGeek app and use promo code WTFootball for $20 off your first purchase. They've got awesome maps and pictures of where you're sitting, but not of who you're sitting next to, which is important but impossible to provide. Download the SeatGeek app today and use the promo code WTFootball for $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Welcome to What the Football. I'm your host, TJ Carpenter, and just like every week, we're going to be providing you the exact same thing: fantasy news, daily fantasy, and then of course our celebrity pick segment. Adam Jacobowitz is joining us. But first, let's start with our top 10 stories of the week. Number 10, Le'Veon Bell has not signed his franchise tag yet, and I'm not worried at all. I'm very worried. His teammates are mad at him. The Steelers fans are mad at him. I don't know. People are talking trades. Look. He's probably not starting week 1 at the very least. That's what I know. Royce Freeman, that's your play. Just don't worry about the fact he doesn't have an offensive line or any experience to speak of. Just think value. That's what I keep telling myself. Number 4, your must-start player of the week in daily fantasy, Phillip Rivers. He's going up against the Kansas City defense without Eric Berry. That means the Chiefs secondary is basically just Ron Parker with a cardboard cutout of Joe Montana in a Chiefs uniform. Start Phillip Rivers. And number 1, Nike has decided to name Colin Kaepernick the face of its 30th annual Just Do It campaign, which means that we get to start a 3rd consecutive NFL season talking about Colin Kaepernick and the national anthem. Yay. Nike has so far amassed a mere $36 billion in revenue in 2018, and it's not even football season. On the other hand, the NFL has an impressive, very impressive, less than half of that. Plus, the NFL just signed a 10-year deal with Nike as their official apparel partner. And that means that every single helmet, jersey, hat, overalls, those little rubber thingies that tight ends wear on their elbows, all of it, it's all Nike. Not a single frame of television will omit the logo of our future apparel overlords the entire NFL season. So, to recap, an institution, the NFL, blackballed an individual, Colin Kaepernick, for supporting a social cause on the field. Then, a bigger institution, Nike, came in and put the other institution, the NFL, in its place. Boom. And look, I don't need to tell you why that's very important to your fantasy football team. All right, it's time to update you on our 2018 big board. There it is up on the screen, our fantasy big board, the board of integrity. It doesn't change because of the integrity. Not much has happened so far given that no games have been played and, well, we've already changed the big board. I said no changes. Yes, I understand SeatGeek ranks every ticket on a 1 to 10 scale to let you know whether you're getting a good deal or not. That's not the point. This is about integrity. We haven't even played games yet, and already the best running back isn't playing. Carson Wentz is out. Board is a mess. It's just a mess. Where did we even get these rankings? Bleacher Report? What you name your fantasy team is important. If you name your team the Geis is right, you better hope Darius Geis makes it to the regular season. And if you name your team Hogan's Heroes, you better be Kevin Hogan's mom. Here's our junior NFL Cub reporter Joshua Brisco with the top 10 overtly sexual puns you've made out of athletes' names for your own personal use.
Hey, I'm your one-stop shop cocaine dealer / street corner bookie / guy who thinks that Eminem got bodied by Machine Gun Kelly, Joshua Brisco. And speaking of cocaine dealers, I am here to give you what you need. shot into your veins. It's the top 10 list! We asked you in the Watch Mojo community tab for your favorite fantasy football names for the 2018 season, and you know I had to put those babies into a sweet, sweet top 10 list. Here's the list. Number 10, Two Girlies, One Cup. I include this one only because it had the most thumbs up, and I believe that somewhere in this universe, democracy deserves some small recognition as the 10th place finisher. Also, don't Google that. Number 9, Inglorious Staffords. There is nothing wrong with this one. It fits the formula. Well-known player, well-known movie. Also could be the name for the soon-to-be 7-9 Detroit Lions. Number 8, Mahome Alone 2. This one's stupendous because it could have just been Mahome Alone. No. Had to be Mahome Alone 2. Why? Is it because Patrick Mahomes is actually Patrick Mahomes II? It's not Patrick Mahomes 2. It doesn't make any sense. I don't want it to make any sense. I love it. Mahome Alone 2. Number 7, Saquon Broccoli. You don't have to be overly clever. You can just say it out loud. Does it pass the say it out loud test? Saquon Broccoli. Yes, it does. Number 6, For Netflix and Chill. This one is excessive in all the right ways, and much like Leonard Fournette himself, it almost makes you forget that you're probably relying on a terrible quarterback to win you games. Number 5, Screaming Enchiladas. I don't know why. I don't know what this is. If this is a reference to something, I don't get it. I don't want to get it. I don't need to get it. This is a very, very good fantasy football team name, the Screaming Enchiladas. We now take a break from the top 10 list to give you a list within a list. Wolf TK gave us Guns N' Rosin, Le'Veon a Prayer, Have a Merry Christmas, Heartline Bling, and several other ones that aren't as good. Number 4, It Hurts When I Flirt. It's unbelievably childish. And if you say it out loud and you don't laugh, I'm going to assume you're a cop. Number 3, Public Fornetication. It's good. Number 2, please do a video of top 10 SpongeBob episodes. Okay, Matthew, 2 things. 1, that's a bad fantasy football name. And 2, I can't make that video, but you know what I can do? I can use your answer as a springboard to my favorite fantasy football name from the entire Watch Mojo community tab. Number 1, are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? That's so good!
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
That one's my favorite. It's not even close. Talk to you next time.
Oh, come on, England. What do you want? I mean, we're basically willing to give you Jacksonville. I mean, you can have it. It's basically just a big Jimmy Buffett concert. You know what I'm saying? Margaritaville. It's now time for our daily fantasy panel. 3 questions, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves victorious. Joining us from an undisclosed basement in Kansas City, Missouri, it is financially insolvent Joshua Brisco. And joining us from what looks like the set of the Page Master, it is Ari Temkin. Gentlemen, thank you very much for rejoining the panel.
Josh, that shirt looks like the background from the old video game Cruis'n USA.
Ari, you are so old that I have no idea what you're talking about. I feel like you should probably just pivot to picking out burial plots.
Cruis'n USA brings back the memories I had at Chuck E. Cheese. That was last week. All right, gentlemen, let's start off the panel with the most important question of the week. Colin Kaepernick signs a deal with Nike, and everyone is enraged. Will it impact daily fantasy? True or very true? All right, well, I hope our audience enjoyed that sneak preview of baskets for this upcoming episode. Josh, do you have anything to say or not say, apparently?
Yeah, I'm happy to speak, and first of all, I'd just like to say how excited I am that we're bringing this topic to YouTube. I am sure that the comment section is going to be really civil, really kind, really forgiving to one another. This is going to go really well. And secondly, it does have a huge impact on daily fantasy. I am terrified of starting any super conservative football players now, because I'm afraid they might snip their own Achilles tendons while they're trying to cut the Nike logo off of their sock.
Well, Josh, I guess you won't be drafting Tom Brady or any of his wide receivers this season. Next question, running backs are dropping like flies this preseason. Some people aren't even showing up to work. Ari, what do you do about this running back crisis in daily fantasy football?
What do you do about it? You can stop spending your money on them. That's a start. I don't get what's so hard about this. We're blaming the inadequacies of the positional group. It's the problem of the group and not of our own idiocy for continually funneling money into the group like it's 2004 and we're sewing up our backfield with Sean Alexander and Rudy Johnson. Join us in 2018. Save your money.
All right, thank you for the 401k advice, Ari. What about you, Josh? Do you have any financially prudent advice for our audience?
Yeah, while Ari is enrolled in the Clay Travis School of Economics, I'm going to take the complete other side on that. I think it's the most important it's ever been to be investing in running backs at the top of the tier, the first tier, because then you're getting some of the guys that are actually getting all of the work out of their backfield. Those are the ones that are giving you a return on their investment. You don't want to be filling out your roster with mid-level depth guys at running back. Get those guys at receiver, even quarterback, and tight end. You'll be so much better off.
Which is why everyone should draft Royce Freeman as much as they possibly can this season. All right, gentlemen, depth charts have come out. A lot of announcements out there that are going to impact daily fantasy. Nathan Peterman is a starting quarterback for the Bills. Nick Foles is a starting quarterback for the Eagles. What announcement week one on the depth chart has you guys changing your daily lineups week one?
Well, first of all, TJ, congratulations to the Buffalo Bills. They made the playoffs last year for the first time in 17 seasons, and this year they're starting with Nathan Peterman as their quarterback. Great work, guys. With that being said, definitely the Ravens defense against the Bills in week one. But I mean, quite honestly, who is thinking of starting a guy like Josh Allen week one? Like, what kind of a moron would think, hey, I should plug in Josh Allen here week one? Actually, I take that back. Introduce me to this moron. I'd like to be in his league.
Well, I believe the answer to that question is Hugh Jackson. I think Hugh Jackson is the answer you're looking for there, Ari. Josh, what about you? What announcement week one on the depth chart has you all in a tizzy?
Well, none of the specifics have that big of an impact, but it does impact all the guys around them. And so for me, the biggest surprise was seeing that Blake Bortles is actually the Jacksonville Jaguars starting quarterback again this year. It's not some giant prank being pulled by Tom Coughlin. So don't pay any of his pass catchers.
All right, gentlemen, excellent advice as always. Sage advice from our Sage Daily Fantasy panel. Thank you guys very much for joining us once again.
Josh, is your mom waiting with juice boxes and orange slices?
No, I haven't seen her in years, Ari.
And now everyone is sad. It's now time for our celebrity pick segment, which to this point has just consisted of one old bald guy known around these parts as 5 Points Vids. It's Adam Jacobowitz, second week in a row. Sir, thank you very much for joining us a second consecutive week here.
Thanks for having me back. I don't know why, but I'm here, so let's do it.
Hey, you know what? I'm not complaining. Nobody else is complaining. The people love you, Adam. They love you and your beautiful bald head. Let's go ahead and get things started. Remember, if you're watching at home, every week we invite on a celebrity guest and they pick games against the spread versus me. And if they get more than me, then they get to come back for a second consecutive week, or have to, depending on your perspective. Let's get things started. Falcons at Eagles. Eagles are favored by 3. And look, Nick Foles is getting the start here week one. I have a strict no tree person policy. Give me the Falcons all day long. Given that Nick Foles is basically just Groot with a neck beard. Falcons, Falcons, Falcons.
Yeah, I thought about this one about 25 times, and I like the Falcons in this one, and they'll be selling really crappy beer this weekend. Count on Natty Ice getting it done to cover the 3.
Seahawks at Broncos. Broncos -2.5 at home. John Elway cut his own first-round draft pick that he traded up to get Paxton Lynch so that he could claim off of waivers, the third-hand garbage of Andy Reid, Kevin Hogan. And guess what? That was the right decision to make. He just did it in the worst possible way. And that has nothing to do with the game, Adam. I just wanted people to know. I've got Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one. I like the Broncos to go out and please the very high faithful, and Case Keenum doing what Case Keenum does, manage his team to a 3-point cover. I like the Broncos to cover the 2.5.
Case Keenum doing what Case Keenum does, managing his team to a 3-point cover. That is as a Case Keenum statement as I have ever heard in my life, Adam. Next game up, Steelers at Browns. Browns are getting 5 at home. Joe Thomas did not die in vain. All offseason has been culminating to this moment. John Dorsey, Mr. Magoo's his way into success everywhere he goes. I've got Browns. I've got the Browns to beat the Steelers week 1.
I'm going to have to go against you with that one. I like Big Ben to start off his last season in the NFL. That triggers Steelers fans right there. With a win and continue the factory of sadness, misery, I think 5 is easy for the Steelers to cover. They win by at least a touchdown.
Bengals at Colts. Colts -3.5 in this game, and I expect absolutely nothing productive to come from this whatsoever, other than maybe Andrew Luck's body hair continuing to eat him alive. I really hope he gets a chance this season to finish his review of all the culverts of Indianapolis before that happens. Give me the Colts.
I'm going to disagree with you on this one. The march to an 11-win season and a playoff loss starts for Marvin Lewis's Cincinnati Bengals. I like them to cover the 3-5 in this one and also to win.
All right, yeah, sure. We'll see that happen. Marvin Lewis is a sham of himself and a sham to the idea of a head coach. Titans at Dolphins. Dolphins +2 in this game. And look, according to Wikipedia, and I am now reading verbatim, the Miami Dolphins are a professional American football team based in the Miami metropolitan area. The Dolphins compete in the National Football League as a member club of the league's American Football East Division. And other than that, I can't tell you a single meaningful thing about the Miami Dolphins over the last 20 years, but I know even less about the Titans. Is that where Paxton Lynch went to college? Give me the Dolphins.
I will agree with you on this last one, as Ryan Tannehill's feelings will not be hurt as Jason Sanders kicks one through the uprights in the last minute to cover those 2 points, as Brock Osweiler, who cheers on his team from the sidelines, counting all the money that Houston gave him. Incidentally, I think that Brock Osweiler will be named in Colin Kaepernick's suit against the NFL as an example of a quarterback that should not have a job.
All right, let's go ahead and review our picks from last week, and it looks like, well, we picked the exact same games and got the exact opposite results of what we did last week, Adam. So I just have to say, job well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, if Adam beats me, he'll be back next week, which would then be the 3rd consecutive week that our Celebrity Pick segment has been an old bald guy named Adam Jacobowitz, who lives somewhere in an undisclosed location in Virginia. That's going to do it for us. You can make your picks as well. We've got ours up on the screen as a show, and we'll put the cream of the crop up on top on the screen every week for you to review. This is What the Football.